That's a lovely blue sea, isn't it? It's a lovely blue sea in sunny
Ocean, James.
Santa Monica. It's an ocean, yeah, but isn't that also the sea?
No, I think there's a technical difference.
You're saying there's a difference between the sea and the ocean? You've entirely ruined my intro.
I'm sorry, but we have to make sure that things are correct here.
I know, but you say lots of things to try and sound smart, right? But you don't actually know what you're talking about. So I need a definition. I need a definition. You need to explain this. You can't just say.
I don't know what the difference.
You don't know what the difference is. So you thought you would
difference.
interrupt me and say it's not the sea, it's the ocean, and you can't explain why. Get your phone out. I need answers.
Adam in the back there, you seem to have an answer.
This is no. You can't like move the responsibility to someone else now.
Well,
you created this. Storm in a teacup. You must settle this.
Well, we'd have to look it up. Otherwise, we risk more misinformation, James.
That's what I'm saying. Look it up.
What's this?
Oh my God! It's just the start of the show.
Oh, this is nice.
All right. So I'm going to leave that over there. Eric will be here very shortly indeed. There's some trouble getting to the studio today with all the fires and things and traffic. It's proving a little difficult. I don't know if there seems to be more and more. There seems to be more and more fires out there down in San Francisco. Wait, is San Francisco up or down today? Is it down?
Up.
It's up.
It's up.
It's up. Okay, it's up. Sorry, I always think for some reason that Los Angeles
San
is
Diego
up,
down.
but it's below. Okay, San Diego's down. I should put a map just somewhere
See,
off screen.
who should the viewers trust here? But facts,
Not
James.
you.
Basic geography is
Not
a problem
you.
for you.
I'm not giving facts though. I'm just like, I don't know where I am. Anyway, we've got some Counter-Strike coming up for you. Let's have a look at the bracket we have. European Counter-Strike first, and then North American Counter-Strike second. We start with Virtus.pro versus FaZe. Tomorrow it will be Tricked versus Fnatic, looking at how those teams got there. Virtus.pro 2-0'd Mouse Sports, who had Get Right as a stand-in for Rops, and FaZe 2-0'd Heroic. Tricked they beat North 2-1. In a best-of-3 series, and they'll be facing Fnatic, who beat Big 2-0. Fnatic looking really good at the moment, which I think is great to see. And that's a standout for me because, of course, they've had their recent changes. Sorry, the Asper's here.
Okay.
And they make it to Tricked. Just hold your horses a second, Dan. Okay. I know you're excited. Virtus.pro versus FaZe is going to be our European match for today, and indeed after that, we will be heading towards North America. So what have you found, Dan?
I don't know. I'm getting ads now. What's happening? I had a pop-up. Everything's gone. I had the explanation. Here it is again. Wait. Okay. An ocean is a vast and continuous frame of salty water that shelters almost 70% of the total Earth's surface, while a sea is a large body of saline water that occupies a greater part of the world's surface but is smaller than an ocean. The difference between the two water bodies is summarized in terms of depth, area, and marine life.
Okay, so how do you know that that's a sea or an ocean?
Just because I know that I don't know. It is
an
an ocean,
do you?
right?
You don't. You just have no idea.
It's an ocean, right? Look at you, Adam. He was nodding earlier.
So you,
now,
you just don't know.
Now he's silent.
So this is the thing. Like he's like here yesterday talking about engines. He's like, oh, actually, I've never programmed. I can't even program a microwave. And now he's trying to tell me, oh, that's not a sea, that's an ocean. But he doesn't actually know. So you better. I don't know if Google Maps is going to tell you. At what point does a sea become an ocean? Is there some kind of like transitionary period? We need to know. If you know about seas and oceans, then send us a tweet, because it is good to know. But we can't. We've got to make sure.
Educational.
We've got to get our Snopes game on and make sure that our statements are qualified and they're just not thrown out there, and we don't actually know what we're talking about. So indeed, these teams are going to be unfortunately exposed to Dan if they win this week at the finals, which are in
Pacific
Arlington,
Ocean.
Texas. Right, we need to. There's more to go through with this sea and ocean thing, okay? But for now, we'll go for the finals, and Dan will be there as well. Maybe you can be. ECS.FACEIT.com is where you can pick up some tickets for the finals in Arlington, Texas. It's Thanksgiving weekend. There's going to be some big football just down the road in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium as well. I was fortunate enough to see some of it last year, and maybe, who knows if it happens again. We were guests of the city, which was really kind of them. And that was pretty awesome. My first football game. It was like one of the biggest ones of the year. Very lucky to do that. But indeed, Counter-Strike is the main show that weekend in Arlington, Texas. Right then. Now we can get to the veto then. FaZe versus Virtus.pro. FaZe have been, obviously they got Cold Zero now. They are a team, I suppose, historically, they haven't really got as far as people would have liked or as consistent. Post Carrigan, they've had a lot of issues. maybe Cold can help with that. Inferno, Mirage, and Trade. I got hiccups. I'm coughing because I had a cold drink before we started, and that triggers my asthma, and I've got hiccups. I've got hiccups like all week. It's really irritating. Not as irritating as your interruptions, Dan, with the ocean and
Hey man,
the sea.
you said something that's incorrect.
Where is the nearest sea? I need to know where the nearest sea is.
No, in the UK is.
What?
Surrounded, it's a sea. It's just the sea of the UK. I don't know. I always forget what they're called. Which is which one it is.
We just say English Channel basically. Like between, we don't really care about the rest. So I don't even know. But that's a good point actually, because you've got places like Clacton-on-Sea. Okay. I mean, we need to learn about seas and oceans.
Yeah, you should know these things, James. You're a
California,
diver.
I
should be
I'm
the
not trying
one.
to drink the water, so it doesn't matter if it's
Well, it's not
saline
about
or.
drinking the water, but what
It's
are you
about
diving
if it's fresh water or sea water. That's what I need to know, because that changes your buoyancy, so it changes your weights. So once I used seawater weights in fresh water, and I was grossly overweighted, and found it hard to stay afloat.
How many dives have you done in your life, James?
About 50, I think.
Doesn't know the difference between the ocean and the sea.
My logbook is in London.
Right.
The California current is a Pacific Ocean current that moves south along the blah 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 blah. Okay, I really need to do some research on seas and oceans. I'm not satisfied with this. I've been massively triggered by Dan. Massively triggered. So what do you think? Virtus.pro versus FaZe?
I think this is an interesting one. I still think FaZe is hard to predict, because we've seen some good results where Cold Zero has been playing well. And it's a team which has a lot of individual skill. And I'm hoping to see, now that they are getting more of an identity with Cold, that it seems to be kind of clicking, that we'll see a more tactical, more disciplined, and kind of tighter team play. Because before, it seemed like they were relying too much on the individuals just hitting shots, and that was a bit one-dimensional. So I'm hoping that they kind of evolve to where we're seeing, the current teams, or how the current teams are evolving the meta now. I'm hoping that we see them move to that. So. I want to save FaZe. I think that they should have a higher ceiling. So I'm gonna have faith in FaZe.
What would Eric pick? That's the question. I mean, he might get here in time to do his own prediction, but I don't know what Eric would pick here. I don't know with him, because we like to bicker a lot when we're playing and troll each other. So, but I'm not actually sure what he would pick. I'm gonna pick FaZe for Eric though, because I've got to pick something, right?
What did he pick? Yesterday when VP played, did he pick VP? Did any of us pick VP?
I don't know.
He picked Mouse.
I tried to ignore you guys when you're talking.
Oh yeah, we all went for Mouse Sports basically, except one person. I think maybe Slicky picked.
All right.
VP.
Well,
yeah,
let's go with FaZe for Eric then. I think you can change it. I'm gonna pick FaZe as well. I think that they're having their own troubles, but I still think that they will beat the large majority of teams most of the time, and I think that includes Virtus.pro as well. There we go.
VP, the maps are pretty good for VP, because we got we got the Inferno, Mirage, and Train. So it's like a pretty good 3-map series for VP from a maps perspective.
They put Eamon on there.
At the same time,
there's Eamon.
Oh, nice.
But the Bears is here now. He's just arrived. So let's see. Is it gonna be the anime betrayal now? Are you going to betray him?
Okay, what we got? So I've got FaZe. James has got FaZe.
Boom.
Just get in there.
Just go. Don't hesitate. You got to be decisive, Eric. This is all this nonsense you tell me when we're playing. You got to deep breaths and just go. Just walk in. Just commit.
Yeah.
You've got to commit. You
Get
can't
through
be
the choke point, man.
You can't be half-assed.
I'm hearing no. I'm hearing yes. I'm hearing go. Let's go.
Welcome. So
I'm ready.
FaZe or Virtus.pro? What do you think?
I'm thinking Virtus.pro.
Ah, you're wrong.
Pro.
He thought you'd say FaZe.
No, I didn't. I said I have no idea what he would say. Yeah. But I'll pick FaZe.
What's
Do you know the difference between the sea and the ocean?
The sea and the ocean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
He did.
You didn't know either.
Don't pretend like you knew. You didn't know either. You're just saying things. It's like, wait a minute. I think I'm onto something here. Not that I really know, but I think I do.
I mean, the thing is, like, it's a low risk. If he doesn't know, it's cool. But if he does know, then I get to.
I should know.
You
get to one up you again.
But you didn't know.
So what's your answer?
This is a long story. You can explain the answer if you want.
Yeah.
I couldn't even find the bloody page. Anyway, I picked FaZe. Where's my FaZe logo? James Bardolph picks FaZe. And I think Dan, you chose FaZe as well?
Yeah, I chose FaZe too.
Sliggy, who are you going to pick?
It should be FaZe, right? So I'm going FaZe. Should be.
Wow.
Okay.
A logical choice from Sliggy.
Well, you say that, but yesterday did he get it?
No, he picked INTZ, right? Remember?
Did he?
No, 2 of you picked INTZ.
Not me.
No, he picked VP yesterday when all of us picked mouse balls. So you got to give it to him.
Well, maybe I did pick INTZ. I don't
Yeah.
remember anymore.
Okay, there was some
Long
INTZ
day.
picks there.
It
I
was a
swear it
long
was
day.
50-50 for that game. But anyway, here are the predictions from the desk.
Should
We
be
need
a
to look
close
at
game though.
we need to look at the predictions from the people
Yes.
and see what the people have chosen for this game. What do the people think? 77% FaZe clan. They're on the freaking hoodies of Manchester City. So this is the people should be with FaZe.
Yeah.
They've reached that kind of level. They're in the what do you call it? The hive mind or whatever. What's that
The
phrase?
mainstream.
They're in the hive mind. The mainstream. Not the mainstream. That's not the word I'm looking for. It's somewhere in there, but never mind.
What are
I'm
you
still
looking
distracted
for?
by the Seas and Oceans. Okay. All right, Pinnacle. What are the odds? Show me the odds. A very solid favourite. I feel like it's interesting at the moment with Virtus.pro because those are pretty high odds, like for Virtus.pro. But I feel like they're at a point where they're capable of surprising us, and maybe But as you can see, these aren't too cautionary odds. Those are pretty big for the match, 4.37. So there's definitely something to be done here. Now, before we get into it, we just wanted to highlight the FPL circuit. For those of you who are not aware of it, we've been playing some FPL plays recently. We played against Grim, Exceed recently. I don't know if who's that guy who was on Cloud9 for a bit? Celsius. We played him on Vertigo yesterday.
Yeah, Zelsis was on there.
Yeah, and yeah, so the FPL circuit, everybody can qualify. This is the European one, so there's a lot of names. I mean, I know Spelland, but most of these names you can see refresh in there as well. Norbert, but there's a lot of names who we don't know just yet. I can see Demasic, Nico, but there's so many up and comers that come through this system. You could be part of this as well. For example, if you're in North America, the Mythic League leads to FPL. There are loads of different hubs in Europe which lead to FPLC, so you can even play in your own language in some countries and then make your way towards FPL. I haven't got there just yet. Man, I was 5 points away from level 5, and now I am
How many?
36 points away.
That's
We
one
lost one
game.
match for 31 points.
That's like 2 games.
Yesterday.
You can get up there.
Yeah, but you can see who's doing the best, and you can even tune into the matches through the platform, all the streamers and so on. So let us know if you make it, man. I know a few people who are in FPLC, so we'll see. It's nice that you have a mountain to climb. The knife is life. I would like to look at the knives. I sold my Falchion knife yesterday.
Where?
On the sea market.
Nice.
Where else would I sell it? The Bears.
I don't know.
So here are some Falchion knives. So I had the one at Snacks has, more or less. They're Slaughter, not Stat Track though. So I have a Talon knife, which is on the market, a blue steel Talon knife to sell. And then I'm going to spend my Valve bucks on something else, that virtual currency. Dan still doesn't have a knife.
Nope. But I do know.
I learned yesterday that if you hold F, the animation just goes on and on and on. And I had no idea about that, despite having 11 knives. It's a big one from Cold.
Yeah, I think this series will be quite close overall. VP seem to be in, I think, in this place where they're pretty stable, they're pretty consistent, which is really weird to say with VP. Obviously, historically, the past VPs were anything but consistent, but they seem to have, you know, a basic game plan and so on, and it's just pretty consistent from the games that we have seen, and they can contest pretty much anybody. So this will be a really interesting game. I think they're starting off on this T side, going towards Banana. And FaZe actually go for a pop flash play into second mid, so they have some information about this. They've already rotated, or are rotating Rain to help out the bomb site defense. Nico's here to pop the first one, although they will lose the bomb sites pretty swiftly, and the bomb will go down. So the Kriegs have been secured. Should they choose to accept the Kriegs, the Kriegs will be theirs. But can they do a step better? Actually win the round as well.
Is that even better at this point? Considering you can reset the CT economy.
Well, Inferno maybe.
Better than the op.
Well, let's see if they can do it. Nico trying to find those headshots in construction, but this time he won't. Cold Zero certainly will. A great addition to the team. He is the equalizer. Running out of bullets though. He's got a kit, but no more HP in the pistol round. Will go the way of FaZe. I love the addition of Cold Zero to FaZe.
He's been playing really well for them in the
Yeah.
last couple weeks, or at least last month.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So, Dan, the 7 seas
Yes.
is an ancient phrase for all the world's oceans. I like to speak in archaic English.
This is quite
Therefore-
a loophole you're trying to find here.
Therefore, I was technically correct.
You're just taking something Sinbad would say.
In thine
and you're-
eyes,
That's your science now, is it?
in thine
From
eyes,
Sinbad.
thou shalt be correct. Apparently, there are 7 seas and 7 oceans and 5 seas.
Yeah, so it's not even correct, is it? The UK is surrounded by the Celtic Sea, the Norwegian Sea to the northeast. Celtic Sea is towards the southwest.
Yeah, I don't know that there are 5 seas, man. That doesn't make sense. There should be more than that. It's a big world.
But I think like for example though, if you're in the beaches in England, you're in the sea in the sea versus the ocean here, the current is so strong in the ocean here in comparison. The difference is ridiculous, like the amount of waves and the strength of the currents. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but either way, back into the Counter-Strike, we have FaZe rotating everybody to B. They've guessed correctly, and there's no one really playing info towards the A side of the map here for Virtus.pro, so they're going to be walking into a stack. Very well timed by Virtus.pro. Oh, rather, sorry, by FaZe, I should say. Can they make it happen, though? Looks like... Oh my god, I have no idea how Virtus.pro haven't lost a single player. That's absurd.
It's actually pretty amazing.
And Nico has a deagle, so there's a fair chance they're going to lose someone shortly. Actually not afraid. I mean, he is one of the more aggressive players on Virtus.pro. No issues with re-peaking.
So we saw there, even VP, even though FaZe had 5 people there, pretty much, some well-placed smokes, some teamwork, the coordination, the spacing of the players. It's actually kind of amazing that they didn't even lose one, though. They're all there. Waiting.
USPs with a HE from Nico. Down mid it goes. I was too tired for Counter-Strike yesterday.
You what?
I was too tired to play Counter-Strike yesterday.
But you had like 8 things of Red Bull and coffee.
I know.
You should be pumped.
Yeah, but then there's a crash.
Oh.
Then there's a crash to
But you
bed.
get sugar-free.
We had to do, James, just go to sleep straight away and then wake up and play more Counter-Strike. Oh, some digs here.
Definitely don't want to be losing that. Oh, a quick switch, and this is maybe not the place to do it. I think Veggie, if he was holding the angle, that might have been better. This has turned into an absolute disaster. Oh, God.
Wow.
Well,
Not work out.
that's an interesting chain of events. Although they may still have a good chance of winning the round. There's no Kevlar. Why not hold on to this Krieg at the very least?
It's kind of
Seems
scary.
you've created a giant argument on Twitch, Dan, about oceans and seas.
Oh, have I really? Nice.
So wait, so what's the definition then?
Well, he said, so the context is, because you missed it at the beginning of the show, he was saying, oh, that's a nice blue sea. I said, no, James, it's the ocean.
Mm.
And then we had, I said there is a difference between them. And I couldn't tell him the difference, but I
You
just
couldn't
noticed there
explain the
is a
difference. It's one of those,
So I said,
let me sound smart.
So do we know
no,
the
I'm not trying to
difference?
sound smart, but it's just,
There's a difference.
can't-
What is
can't
the
just be-
difference?
you
I don't
can't
know
just
what the
be-
difference is.
say, like,
That's
looking-
trying to sound smart.
you can't just, look at a horse and say, oh, it's a dog.
I mean, you're,
I mean, yeah, they're both
You're not wrong.
animals. That's great, but
Just because you wear a
different things.
scientist jacket doesn't mean you're a scientist, yeah? Still got to look up the definitions.
yeah, and so we got there.
Seas are found on the margins of the ocean and are partially enclosed by land. So the Bering Sea, that I'd never heard of before, is part of the Pacific Ocean. I need to watch some YouTube videos on this. Like, I need a deeper explanation.
Just become an oceanographer.
I need to absorb this information. I must absorb it.
I feel like I won. Got an early win here today.
taking it W.
Virtus.pro will take the arch position away, but Olofmeister wants to fight for it. He has the AWP for FaZe at present, but look at the swings from Virtus.pro. Through the smoke they go. And that is quite a violent take of the A bomb site. Again, Virtus.pro have been improving, and I think with how long we haven't seen that brand have notable success, at some point they're going to be, well, I think right now they're going under the radar for how well they're doing. Does he take him out, or does he go for an Inya? Well, he's got no kit.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's like I said in the beginning, the way that they've been playing is pretty routine, and every game we get of Virtus.pro, you don't expect to see anything flashy. They have their defaults, they have their set pieces, they mix the pacing up on the T sides, and it's just relatively routine and drilled. I do feel if you were a team that studied their demos a lot, you know that's something that could be exploited. But because, as you say, James, they're going a bit under the radar right now, they're in that sweet spot where they just have these really good performances because no one's paying too much attention to them in depth. And individually, you know, they are really confident right now too. Like Mihu's been playing really well. PHR, steady pair of hands. Snacks playing well in this lineups. You know, we know Snatchy is of course incredible with the AWP when he gets going. And Veggie has his moments as well.
It was a good round by VP. They just caught Nico kind of sleeping in the bomb site. They'll take out Olaf and Nico. Very explosive. I like when VP plays explosive.
Carpet of flames on Banana. Utility for all. We will see how common these kind of rounds are in this half. 4-0 to FaZe at present.
That's a jump you're trying to do, James.
I was trying to do this yesterday. I don't even know where you're supposed to jump. I'm really not sure.
Well, you're going to get ready to learn.
How long will he spend doing this? Okay. I'm going way too much to the right. I thought it was on the right-hand side.
No, you could even do that. That's cool.
So there's a map in the workshop called Jumps Training. Jumps with an S. It's called Jumps Training by Whiskyo, and there's a load of jumps on there, of which that is one of them. Pretty fun to do. People will see me doing it on stream sometimes. I always get stuck on the train one. I can do it, but not that way.
Is your tick rate correct?
Yes, it is. Smoke starts to stream in towards the B bomb site with 40 seconds. Virtus.pro will start to swing. Cold-Zero is spotted. Flashbang will be very, very useful. Numbers here to trade Brokey. Nico will do his best, but we won't see PHR over the smoke. He's gone up the barrels, and again, just like the burst onto the A bomb site, Virtus.pro, they're quick and they're sudden, and they're surely going to 5-0.
Yeah, I think FaZe are going to have to play a lot more aggressive than they are because, again, this is one of those spots where you're letting Virtus.pro, again, who are very routines at this point, you're letting them just run their game plan. You're letting them take Banana, you're letting them take top mid most of the time. You know, they pretty much get whatever they want to set themselves up. And we're not even seeing VP trying to seesaw FaZe, trying to like trick out their rotation too much. They're keeping it really simple. And if they're able to just win by just taking some map control and set piecing, that's problematic for FaZe. So got to see them. I would like to see them take Banana, or if they don't take Banana, send the AWP there, try to get an early pick with a quick peek or something, or do an aggressive apartment setup, just to see something a bit more active. Because VP, I think they've commanded a lot of respect how they've won some of these rounds.
It's a big round from PHR.
Good timeout from FaZe, and that's a pretty good point, Dan, about taking maybe a fast pick with the AWP. This map allows you to for mid or in the Banana, where FaZe has something up their sleeve. You could do like a smoke flash play towards alt, even though it's a little, it might project it a little bit. As long as you can get that kill and fall back, it does the job.
Well, with the loss bonus, FaZe will have everything they want apart from rounds. So let's see how they can turn things around. Nico with the Ursus. Rain of the Ursus as well. It's a nice knife.
Reminds me of a box cutter.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get aggression. You're talking a lot about rabies yesterday, James. I know you're a fan of the aggression.
Rabies, inoculation. The Bez is a steady pair of hands, but I want to see him let loose
to get wild.
It's like VP actually expected. It's deemed to expect the adjustment after the timeout that maybe FaZe would go more aggressive. I think what they were also anticipating is a heavy banana take, and so they don't dump their nades straight away because they wanted to allow the CTs to dump it, and then they retake it, which is stronger in terms of utility usage. But FaZe have actually gone for a gamble stack on B with 3 players late into the round with no info. Oh my
Wide
goodness.
swing. I feel like PHR is going to die most of the time in that situation. But here we are. There are still 2 players on the B bomb site for FaZe Clans and actually looking for the rotation. Scoped in, waiting for it. FaZe are so deep on A, they are not moving a muscle. So FaZe are going to have to win out with 2 players. Snatchy wondering where the rotation is, and still there is no rotation. Do FaZe even identify that somebody could be in the Arch position? Rain's looking towards Arch, sorry, in the CT position. Lots of questions now, and the Kriegs are getting wrecked. I reckon FaZe fan, that's what I need to say. All my English is going backwards. Dan's confused me with the seas and the oceans. So after going through the smoke towards CT on the B bomb side, they'll split A. Style points for Virtus.pro, and once again, there's no response from FaZe.
I think FaZe got unlucky here because I think, so I mean, it is potentially a bad omen. All of Meister him missing that shot, but I think what was happening is we got to around the minute mark, and I think FaZe were going to walk Olaf Meister down with the AWP, which is why he was far away from the wall, because I think he's about to start moving towards top banana, and then they were going to flash him over. And I think there was just a wide swing before that happened. I think Olaf Meister was mentally prepared to get peeked there. And then once they lost that player, because they played so passively, they took a risk on A. And I don't know if that's the most optimal thing to do, but they just wanted to find out what was going on at that point. It's just really hard, isn't it? Sometimes isn't a right answer.
Yeah, VP just had a good timing on Olaf towards that B area. As soon as they toss the Molotov and nade, kind of wide swing just a little bit. Now, of course, as James said, most of the time that guy probably should have been picked off.
Yeah.
But Olaf is having a really slow start to this game, and it's not helping when the AWPer is not hitting the shots. And so now FaZe, they're going to do cold zero with AWP.
Yeah, this is just a save of what they had in the previous round. So we'll have to see if it changes when the buy round comes through, but for now, indeed, Cold will have the AWP. I
think it's just spawn based. I think they just really want that banana pick.
They have been denied by well-placed utility from Virtus.pro. 6-0 for the Poles to start off with. So incendiary response from Nico, but he can't do much else. Apart from Wreck, if they come his way, the bait works out. Olaf Meister's activated, so is Rain. FaZe thriving in the Bedlam. They've got a man advantage now, and 3 rifles on the remaining players. Snack's looking for a rotation. Smoke is up. You can see over it, though, quite easily as well. Surely there is a mistake to be made here by FaZe.
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting that there's no peek. That's obviously a blessing for FaZe, given that Snacks had the play to deal with it. But the smoke is waited out by both sides, and the CTs have a lot of utility. Cold Zero has full nades. That is extremely useful. We'll have to see how they plan to use these grenades, because it could make or break this retake. That's a timely pop flash. Slow them down. Snatchy peeks with it. Oh, he's going to get a second one. That's lovely stuff from Snatchy.
Oh my God.
Snatchy and Snacks win the clutch against 3. And that is 7-0. Great stuff from VP. FaZe just can't really seem to find their footing so far.
Almost had it this round. They had good crossfire in the middle. A little worried for VP on his post plant because they're playing kind of in the site, and the pit guy can't really get to the bomb without exposing himself. But it didn't matter because VP takes out FaZe easily.
What if the Krieg was $4,000?
I mean, I'm okay
Seriously?
with that. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, if you don't make any changes to it, but make, as you said, James, like a cost investment, like it's like a real big investment from an economic standpoint. Could be a thing. I think there's many different solutions which I'd be okay with. I just want less incidence of the Krieg or less efficacy in every scenario.
I think they still have to nerf the bullet accuracy. Seems like the first 4 bullets is just laser beam every single time.
So FaZe passive once again, and you know, as we've covered, this really passive style hasn't helped them too much so far. It's put them in spots where they have to gamble or make information plays, which haven't so far gone their way whatsoever. Nice kill through the smoke. Nico trying to punish the tracers. Firing is successful. And I was about to say, PHR is lurking up top banana. He's going to win the battle there. Brokey just sitting behind the sandbags, completely isolated from his teammate. And that's not worked out for him whatsoever. So VP take control of the map once again. No vision on top mids. No vision on banana for FaZe. Once again, they have to guess. And they will guess B. Oh, sorry, actually not even guessing B. This has got a 2-2 split, so let's see what coldzera can do.
It's a quick shot from him. Nico will swing with a flashbang. There's a transfer looking for the third season by the coffins. coldzera will be happy with that Molotov. It'll give him an easy angle to hold. FaZe runs into it. He knows he has to take him out. Can't. And finally, we've got a first round on the board for FaZe Clan. Snatchy of almost 15k will have no issue buying in this round, neither will the rest of Virtus.pro. But on the other hand, FaZe may struggle in this round despite having won the round.
I think Nico kind of scratched the surface on how to kind of tackle against VP's offenses. Attack when they're attacking, because there's a lot of movement by VP. They're tossing nades, they're running maybe through a choke point a lot of times. So you saw Nico though just like kind of pop flash and this wide swing as they're moving up on the B bomb site. So I think that's the way to beat VP.
FaZe big on guns, also big on utility, but coldzera is happy with the AWP, and indeed Olafmeister will continue sniping as well. Holding towards lane at present. Always nice when you've got an AWP on short in that late round when you don't have that top mid information. You'll often see them creeping up, feel more confident doing it in the short position than in the arch area. Very well placed HE grenade. No snatchies creeping somewhere. Only needs half a chance. Very well timed set of grenades there from Nico. Spread out. Making a nuisance of himself. Veggie creeping in boiler. Virtus.pro in a 4 versus 5.
So they have a lot of options here. Again, FaZe are pretty passive. They don't have top banana. So and they did have a look into, I think Nico just checked top mids, but he doesn't really have the ability to hold it. So these nades. Oh, actually he's going to push as that smoke hits Arch. He's going to get a pick as well. No one's really ready for that push. He's holding the position. Gets another dink here. Lots of damage done by Nico this round. And VP have Arch side. They've got 20 seconds. They're committed to A, and FaZe know it. They begin the rotation down banana. Frayne in a very strong position, as is Olafmeister. Doesn't look possible if for Virtus.pro. Lost too much.
It's a nice bait set up from FaZe. Inviting them into the AWP. Inviting Virtus.pro, that is. And things start to get rough now. Have FaZe solved the puzzle? There's still plenty of money here for Virtus.pro. But indeed, they ran out of options. The doors started to close late on in that round. coldzera's had some nice picks towards B and A. And he's only one of 2 snipers, so how on earth do Virtus.pro deal with that? They're going to have to use these flashbangs wisely. Most of the players coming up spawn, interestingly, focus on the HE grenades rather than the second flashbang. They generally occupy the same slot. Snack's moving up now. coldzera knows he's missed his opportunity. Doesn't scope in as he moves away. Might have got sprayed down. You can see VP checking that smoke. Well, they've taken banana. At this point, Virtus.pro have 1 flashbang. Let's not forget, they've prioritized the HEs over the second flash. So with 1 flashbang, how are they going to take a site? Or even angles, especially when coldzera starts to creep once again. There's a pop flash from the CT side from the coffins for Brokey to pop forward and retake the banana position. The incendiary goes down to isolate the CT. Brokey still alive for now, but coldzera can't quite save him.
Yeah, I like this, just being really active. And in the meantime, you know, they are provoking a reaction from Virtus.pro to keep fighting, and that's given them also the ability to cheat a player over to the B-bomb sites because they got that information.
There's no more flashbangs.
Nico's there to help coldzera. They've already got 2 picks, so it's going to be pretty difficult. Okay, well, they're going to force him out with the Molotov. That's Nico dead. That's a really big one. But can they take down Cold Zero? At the back of the bomb site by New Box. Another great shot off the AWP from him. And it's going to be very difficult now to stop him because he's got his teammates coming in for assistance. He just has to buy more time. Has he done enough? That's the question. Oh, the spray is very good from Rain, but it won't get the kill. Might be a chance to plant now. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Okay, well, that might be the rounds. How does Snatchy do this? He put no nades. Let's go for the kill here. This is so impossible, isn't it? Oh dear, that smoke's gonna go away, and well played to FaZe. Well played to Cold.
Cold Zero turning it up, leading the team with the top frags, but early and very important picks, and then staying alive. Making him come to the off angle, get an extra kill off of that.
I think FaZe are defending the B bomb site easier a lot of the time there when Nico doesn't go down, because again, Virtus.pro, they came out of spawn with like 4 flashbangs. They had no flashes to take the site, which is why they were so jerky at the front. If Nico doesn't get stuck in that Molotov, then I think FaZe have a better defense before that rotation comes in from Rain. So yeah, definitely, unless they had a specific plan for those HEs or something, that was very noticeable for me in the utility. They have a lot more flashbangs this time, so I think they realized their error. That's an interesting calculation, especially from map like Inferno. How many players carry the double flash? Some kind of analysis of what the average flashes is for a take of either site. Tiny shadow advantage there for Olof with a slow peek from Veggie. Rain will follow up and fall off the balcony. 2 kills that Virtus.pro are unable to respond to. No swing from the apartment, and then there were 2. PHR with the CZ, and we ride with Snacks with his Krieg, just waiting for a peek, but Olofmeister need not move. They don't really have any conceded position that they're uncomfortable with right now, FaZe. Got Brokey on Speedway in case Cold needs some help. Sorry, Nico. Cold is on B. 30 seconds for Virtus.pro. Well, PHR's picks up an AWP, so maybe they will hold on to these guns, otherwise they would be throwing good money after bad.
FaZe are doing better now, and they're not going too aggressive, but they are contesting. They're contesting positions better, and the AWPs have made a big difference there. It seems that VP are kind of running into the crosshairs a lot without the necessary flashbangs and so on and so forth. And I think a good adjustment for them could just be to try to go for a set piece. Try to go for, win a default, go for a set piece. Because there we saw them after getting top mids, because they're getting top mid and they're getting banana, but they're after getting top mid, they just kind of try to walk up lane. And then they just gave away 2 1v1s against an AWP Rain on balcony, so not the ideal way to do it.
Yeah, the ops are being a big problem for VP right now, and so these slow kind of defaults, they might have to change it up a little bit with something more explosive. But FaZe, you got Brocky pushed down in the banana. Oh, Snacks.
Why does Nico not have a gun? Oh. Decided to leave spawn now? How nice of him.
Must have dropped somebody and forgot to pick his gun up or something along those lines. Virtus.pro with the 5 versus 4. Rookie too close to the smoke. He was heard rather than seen. This is how you pop flash. Very easy. Stand at coffins. Aim at the top of the aerial. Top middle or top right. Either one is fine. Didn't quite work out there, but for those of you at home, that's how you make a pop flash play with your teammates. Again, there's no flashbangs left. Cold Zero will create some space for himself, but it'll be hard for him to activate this AWP now. Hiding behind the pillar as they try to encroach on his position. There are flashes coming in from CT spawn though, which are giving him more chances. Close to the flick, but not quite. Man advantage for Virtus.pro. They look to plant the bomb at the back of the A bomb site, B bomb site.
Ooh, it's lots of damage on that nade. Perfect landing. Well, an AWP on the retake. Might be awkward. Rain, he's got a smoke. He can try to smoke Banana off. That's usually what this smoke will be used for. But maybe he doesn't know it. It's hard to say. He hasn't tossed it yet. That's a nice pick for Olofmeister, but it doesn't seem like they can really push any further. At least Olofmeister will force FaZe to die on the bomb site.
Good round one by VP, but I liked what Cold was doing. I remember him from the Luminosity days on Cobble. He'd all in the back of B a lot. And the thing that I noticed a lot is his smoking. As he's opping, he always had a smoke, and as soon as he has a kill and whatnot, he'll toss out a smoke and kind of maneuver around that smoke. And I thought it was like that thing always kind of stuck with me.
It stalls so much as well because people are like, is he gonna make a play with the smoke, or is he gonna
hide and wait for his teammates and stuff like that? And
what angles are safe now for us?
Very strong move, and it's a lot of patience for an opper to not re-peek the same angle, or I got to keep getting kills, I got to keep re-peeking, stuff like that.
Indeed. Nico's pushed down second mid. You don't often see this kind of a push, I must say. And he's got quite a good pace. I'm not sure if it'll be fast enough, given the VP on top mid now. With that kill, and that should surely speed things up. They'll go through the smoke in mid, and that means Nico... Oh, the bomb, I think. Did he spot the bomb? Was he spotted? I'm not sure. I don't think he was. Nice kill from Olofmeister, and that bomb will make its way through the balcony. And the TSAB pit and side control. This is going to be an interesting one now. It's going to be up to the likes of Snatchy, I would imagine, with that orb to really help his teammates out here, because overwhelming numbers, lots of flashbangs. Oh, he misses the flick shot. This is a tough one now.
That was a meaty head, HE, and there's another one. Just flashes left for FaZe, just flashes and rifles. Snacks now on the site will get taken out. 4 players survive for FaZe. They are making quite the comeback after a very bumpy start on Inferno. They make it to 5. They close the gap to 3, and they could close it to 1 if they can keep this up. They've won 5 of the last 6 rounds. Much success being had now by FaZe Clan. Olofmeister's got cracking with AWP as well, which is great to see. He was 0-5 earlier on. Now he's 8 for 6, so he has most certainly warmed up at this point.
Good point, James. Bud pointed out too, he started off 0-5. Once Olaf started getting kills, FaZe started winning. Is it a coincidence? I don't know.
VP. They've actually gone for a half buy. I actually thought they'd full buy. They all had about 4k. Obviously, it would have been wouldn't have been ideal, but they could have got rifles out. They with the bomb plant, with the loss bonus, they'd have another buy in the following round. But they go for the half buy. It's working out, lining up for Nico, and he will take them down easily. Not taking any points of damage yet. And in fact, it's just going to happen once again. So that's a simple one, it seems, for FaZe to deal with, and Virtus.pro.
That's why you get your teams to flash for you, and you don't flash for yourself. People at home. I hate all these videos. It's like, this is how you flash yourself around the squad. No, flash your teammates.
P90.
It's a good mentality to have, James.
What skin is it?
It encourages teamwork.
Show it to us, Veggie.
Oh, what is that?
I don't know what skin that is. It's not Death by Kitty, that's all I know.
No, it's someone that looks like the one that's on knives as well, which is really ugly. I like charcoaly.
Blends in.
Death by Kitty is a must. Death by Kitty, Gold FAMAS, Blood in the Water Scalp. These are all compulsory choices, okay?
Wait, there's a new P90 now, though. The CS 20 year. That's the one you should get now.
Yeah, but what is it? What does it say on it?
It has the old menu logo from CS betas. Ooh. You know, when the 2 CT guys on there?
Oh, yeah, nah. No.
Nah.
Death by Kitty, man. It's like Hello Kitty on steroids. You need that in your life.
What about the orb?
There's a Death by Puppy or something now?
Yeah, that's the one I was talking
Orb, but
oh, that's the orb, right.
I have a hot rod, so with my iBuy Power Hollow on it, I have to flex. Sliggy's running that, though. He's using that orb, I think.
On the orb with the puppies on it. Coldzera, his shenanigans have been spotted this time around. He's been making those plays pretty consistently. That has been helping them secure Banana and B and made VP a bit more afraid of this area, but they will look to remedy that with a quick push. And it's a 2-3 setup for FaZe now. FaZe need that top mid info. They have it right now, but this is the timing you'd expect to see VP taking top mid away. They have not left anyone in Banana though. And interestingly, FaZe are rotating 1 to B. And that is kind of a gamble. Again, they have no information right now, except that top mid control. So they're reading that as VP setting up for a set piece. But VP just slowed the pace down, and it seems to have tricked FaZe. FaZe are reading it still as a B plate. I think that's a top mid take. FaZe need to take top Banana, or they have to full rotate out of B net right now. And they are choosing the latter.
One runs away, one walks in place. They fake the sounds of falling back and head straight back to the balcony once again. A 5-man push into the A bomb site. Nico's gonna thin those numbers out though. Olofmeister would like to as well, but he will be sprayed down in the smoke by a P90 with a grotesque skin to boot.
Excuse me?
Out of the way, please. Vino plant is a good one as well, but they will go for the safest plant with cover from most places, if not everywhere. Cold Zero starts to creep. It's the last round of the first half. They've got to go for it.
A tough one. Taking their time. They need Brokey to get into position. Brokey will swing around the corner and meet the AWP. And he's got a free one, but he's got very low HP, and that's not going to help. He almost killed himself with that.
That is wall bangable. We saw NBK get a headshot through there once, but Cold Zero won't on this occasion. It will be 9 rounds from Virtus.pro. Great start, a slow finish for them, but a lead that they could potentially convert after the break.
Up your game. 128-tick service for the smoothest, most responsive gaming experience ever. Ensure you game seamlessly with our state-of-the-art FACEIT anti-cheat. Track your progress with advanced stats within your community, country, or region. This is the true ranked experience. Sign up now at FACEIT.com.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to CS.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Virtus.pro move to the CT side with 9 rounds on the board. Took FaZe a while to adjust, to warm up, to get their heads in the server, but once they did, only 2 more rounds were won by Virtus.pro, including the last one. The odds have changed for map 1. Virtus.pro now 2.11. Big exchange on Banana. Snacks will try to hold his position, but look at the headshots from FaZe. They will abuse their numbers, abuse the high capacity of the Glocks. Jump past the smoke. Turn up, Benji spotted on Banana. He may be as yet undetected, but soon to be detected.
Well, BP not having a good time here, are they? Looking like Veggie is not long for this world as he creeps forwards, surely into his own demise. Oh, he's giving it a go. He's giving it a go. Giving the old college try. But he will be expelled. And Virtus.pro. We're going to see a force buy here. I would like to see a force buy.
I think this is one of the maps that it's really easy to have a force buy on CT. A lot of angles, a lot of close up, personal. You see the white of their eyes.
The thing too as well is that like if you just full save it to the next round, you don't even have enough money in the next round for the 4-buy, which for Inferno. So I like this.
Only one person. I don't get that. Maybe that was a miscount.
Like it. Okay, when I say ooh, not really an ooh, is it? It's like it was correct. I thought it looked promising, but no.
It was promising for FaZe.
Yeah.
What's with the biased commentary, Dan? You're going to get friends from HLTV.
It's the underdog story, James. It's the underdog story. They bought a few nades. It's like MacGyver, you know. Got some lints.
Got some
paper
An
clip,
elastic band.
An elastic band, and it's
broken
like,
twigs.
whoa, he's taken down the
He's
government.
furnished himself a helicopter.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm half Polish. It's a little fun fact. Well, I got a little bias towards VP, but just a little bit.
James, stop dropping your phone on the floor.
And you're almond.
Having a discussion with Stiko about what if the Krieg was $4,000. I think he was offended by the suggestion. But just watching some of the frags in that first half, it's just kind of ridiculous. It just looks too easy. It's too powerful. You must pay an appropriate price for the power.
There is, I do believe in the eye test to a certain degree in that sense, whereby you're saying it looks too easy. If we look at the orgs before, it also was the case where before the last nerf of the orgs, it was a bit ridiculous how easy it was. Just pull down a little bit, scoped in, just basically no skill in the recoil adjustments.
I wouldn't mind it being as is, at least the test if you know, it has an appropriate cost for it. It should be a penalty for being able to wield such power. Snatchy trying to defend the A bomb site, but he will be outmaneuvered by FaZe Clan, putting themselves in a position to win, and Snacks is left on the B bomb site. I think he dropped a banana smoke to suggest that he was saving on B.
I will take away the scope. Too much. I don't like scope rifles.
I think I mentioned this before. Or did I suggest that? Did you? I can't remember.
I said the scope should fall off after the first kill.
First kill is often enough, though.
Nah, I mean, obviously I was joking, but I think that the scope is part of it. It's like the orc has a scope. It's kind of just part of what makes the gun. That's the point for me, is like the utility of the scope gives you access to angles and positions that you otherwise wouldn't be able to play as confidently with an M4 or an AK, respectively. But
should they be that confident? Though?
But it shouldn't. So. But it shouldn't also be the best rifle in every other situation, because that's the problem. It's the best gun in every other situation as well. You can't be the best in everything, because then you have no choice. The game is taking away choice. It's like, we can have these options, but here's this option that's 10 times better than all these other options. So why would you ever pick any of those options?
So maybe if you want to be more, since they have a scope, it's kind of like, you know, op spots or scout spots, whatever, be semi-automatic instead of fully automatic.
Maybe that's... Oh wait, no, you can put stickers on the scope. So the scope's not going to go anywhere. Well, you can still disable it. Which would be weird.
I'm sure they could have something else in the game if they take away the scope.
Yeah, because I think like it's still accurate, it still has a higher armor penetration, you can still shred with it. So there's an argument for it to cost more than an AK and to still buy it.
$50 or more.
It
Yeah,
needs to
I
be
mean-
that needs to be changed for sure. Make
mean-
it $4,000, man.
I mean, if you don't change it in its current iteration, I mean, it costs like 4,000. People will still buy it, but it will definitely be bought a lot less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, from that perspective, you know, that does solve the usage issue.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
You're putting your own economy at risk to give yourself an advantage. So you balance the number of them in that respect. And there's also like a proper decision to be made by the T side, not just like, let's just shred the Ts, the CTs.
yeah, it's. I mean, I can get on board with testing that because you would, as you say, like see way less of them. We wouldn't have the second round issue and so on.
I'd rather nerf the stats than have it higher money, just because people will find ways to get it, they'll hold on to it. And if that fails to get a MAC 10, you know, this is good.
I think I lean towards changing the stats, but only because I'm a big fan of. I don't think there should just only be one decision for to do something. There should be an argument for other things as well. But right now, there's no argument. If you can get a Krieg, you should use the Krieg. Nice.
Trades on banana. Snacks will hold. I don't know if you can say hold position. Really, he's forced to fall back. He's lost a player. He's lost support. He needs more cover to defend with, to fall back from. Over a minute on the clock. We'll see what FaZe choose to do. Snatchy still holding down the top mid position. Not easy to do. Has to be nervous about Boiler, as you can see, which forces him away just as Cold Zero starts to peak. With no one looking towards mid, what will FaZe's options look like? Where will they choose to go?
Down 3 people, they're going to have to take and work towards the banana here. They do throw a smoke or a nade in the smoke. Little head boost, but sees nothing. Cold Zero is going to be creeping up here. Mishu with a nice counter smoke, and here comes the utility towards this B bomb site.
And here comes the push, straight with the smoke. He's on the other end of it, and looking very easy for Virtus.pro here. Right. It's not going to go his way. The peak from Snacks is good on the first try. If he had missed, maybe Rain could have tried to do something, but 10 to 10 as FaZe will concede this one. Virtus.pro can maybe get some momentum off the back of this. They survive with 3 players, which is really nice. 2 ops included.
And you kind of see what's been kind of working this round for VP. Kind of started working for FaZe last half is the 2-op kind of system. Just holding angles, letting the T's walk into your spots and crosshairs, and making easy kills. That should have been an easy kill, but Brocky takes out Snack at Banana.
Incendiary's down to desperately holds position. Is there a cold flash? I think there was. Indeed there was from Mihu. The only flash he had. Again, Virtus.pro low on the flashbangs at this point, just 2 on Snatchy over towards the A-bomb site.
That's an insane play. Imagine if PHR dies, the round's over. So yeah, you guys in support of the craziness. He made it work.
Sometimes you have to be a little
The
spicy,
pop
man.
flash play?
Yeah, so PHR, he's in a position where he could go back to site, or he could just run in and try to see if he can win back top another by himself. I think there was a flash indeed,
There was a flash from Mihu, yeah, I mentioned it.
but if he fails there, the round is over.
It's good to mix in some crazy riskiness. You can't just be predictable. You can't play textbook all the time, such as high level. Get a little wild.
Well, they're playing retake on B right now. They've got Snatchy in a position where if there is an attack in the B-bomb site, they'll probably smoke CT, which allows him to fall back, go to construction, and hold some position for the retake. So this is kind of like a safe gamble. They don't have the information. They don't want to get the information. They do have a man advantage, but they're going to stack towards A just to make it a little bit easier if there is an attack towards A. If they go B, Snatchy can rotate around to construction after the smokes, maybe get a pot shot in front of the smokes. Beautiful. This is so well played. Oh no, surely not. It's gonna go back for more. He's crazy.
The gas and the smoke certainly helps. Now he's got his angle on the bomb, and Rain will jump through. We've seen a lot of gaps from different teams in that CT smoke, and That's exactly the amount of gap that Snatchy needed to punish everybody crossing.
It's also unfortunate for Nico. He peaked a little bit right before the pop flash. Because if he waited just a second later, that pop flash would have hit Snatchy, that's posted up, and then he was able to swing. But it's those little timings which you gotta kind of hit, or you can get punished at this level.
I don't think any of them had any idea that there was a gap in the smoke there.
Well, that part,
Where they
yeah.
jump past.
Yeah.
It won't be obvious from their angle. Although they may wonder, they might realize. I mean, Snatchy is crazy, but there we go.
That was an amazing round from Snatchy and PHR. They're like such an amazing round.
It's not too uncommon for the Operas to kind of sneak what, even though there's a small gap, you can kind of still pop out just a little bit on the right to kind of hit that shot. But the gap did make it a little easier, especially for the when they're trying to cross in the site. It's really easy.
This also just, again, like, I'm just impressed by the play that they did where they take top banana, because it's really risky, but if you make it work, you slow the C's down and you get a kill. It's such a powerful play.
Oh dear.
See you later.
Seems like VP are playing better in Inferno so far. Oh, that's... Oh, we got blood as well.
Snatchy sees so much avoiding the spray. Look at the flicks. He knows one was towards the arch position. Oh no.
No. Where did that come from?
Maybe he pulled the pin, died, and it just fell down to short.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah, that's brutal. Nice combo meal deal, but it won't result in a round for FaZe. Will be Virtus.pro making it to 12, rescuing the AWP.
Did we catch that? We didn't catch that, that's unfortunate. But that must have even happened. It must have like rolled down the wagon. I was surprised just fighting against the Krieg in the first place. That did the flash there on me too. Full flash. So you can see on the radar at least. Yeah, that had to be it. That's so crazy. I don't think I've seen something like that in a while.
I feel like the sound is so good in this game. Like with that flick from Snatchy. I mean, tracers give a clue, but I think the directional sound helps a lot as well.
So how come on nuke you can't hear? You don't know what's up or down.
If you turn your head sideways. Right.
It'd be cool if like on FACEIT, like, you know, you could agree to have just team damage fully on with your team or something.
That's what hubs are for.
I guess so.
Let's talk about hubs, Dan.
Tell me about hubs, James.
You can open your own hub and you can put friendly fire on, or you can play Mythic League in North America that has friendly fire on. Have you tried FaceIt.com, Dan? There's plenty of friendly fire to be had in controlled environments.
Got 800 games, I think, on there. Nice catch from Snatchy. Finds the first one, that tells him a lot. Molly will not slow them down too much. His flowers are fairly fire resistant, it seems. Only the most fire resistant flowers from Inferno. Mihu, nice kills there. Well, Snacks helps up for one. Doesn't seem like FaZe are going to get much grounded. That's a great headshot. Nico. You feel like when you watch him, with all this time and this position, that he could find a way.
He has a deagle.
And an M4.
We've seen him do, yeah, he's got deagle. We've seen him do really crazy things with it. Oh, he just turns before he sees Veggie. I remember that deagle ace on Cash from the headshot position.
Yeah.
That was absolutely wild. He was wilding out with that. That was really crazy. But Virtus.pro are 3 rounds away from taking the first map. And this is the pick of FaZe. They are, however, no strangers to Mirage, which is next down the pick of Virtus.pro. But Virtus.pro, they've won 4 rounds in a row. And again, they're kind of under the radar, really under the radar improving. Again, that nuisance Molotov might be a problem in the mid position. Brokey will try and avoid the Molotov, but he can't avoid Snacks on Banana, who needs a smoke. Maybe it'll come in time. We've got HGs and Incendiaries down the bottom of Banana. Snacks can still see. But with that, they'll leave it. Neither of them, PHR or Pitsmax, has a smoke actually to smoke off Banana, so in the weirdest position, they'll take Banana and then leave it because they've got no smoke.
I love this. They've been doing this a lot. They find spots where they play Snatchy. I mean, we saw Snatchy get those incredible 3K, or actually it was 4K on that round in total, but they like to put him on Banana. They don't start him off on Banana, but they'll often rotate him from A to Banana so they can cheat players towards A. And I like this a lot because it's an interesting response to this dilemma of finding information. So instead of finding information, they just try to stack. But the problem is Snatchy can't do stuff like that. you can't kind of go for those solo plays. I think he kind of has to just give up B. And if the team want to make info plays, they do it to top mid where they have 4 people. I think that's probably the best way to go. It's a really weird position for VP because they don't know if anyone's even in B right now.
FaZe has to go back and get the bomb though in T-spawn. It's gonna take a couple seconds. You see VP slowly starting to rotate back to B.
Seven seconds on the clock for the bomb to get planted. Smokes are up on the site, and Virtus.pro starts to stream in. Last flames are thrown. There's no incendiary for the dark spot from construction. PHL will take the first duel and win it. 4 versus 2 now as we got the last flashbangs coming through. Nico completely blind. There's one more to go. There it is. But they're lining up for him. And surely the Krieg will shred. Nico tracking, but they won't get those final kills. Conceded position, couldn't take it back. And Virtus.pro moved to 14. I think that's their 5th round in a row. Which means FaZe will have no trouble buying. They'll get 4,200 for the loss of this one. And indeed, that is 5 from 5 for Virtus.pro in the late stages here on Inferno.
But Dan, you made a pretty good point about Snatchy kind of moving on like some other spots in the map, and I like what VP has been doing on their CT side, keeping FaZe always guessing where the offer is, because Snatchy's in B, Snatchy's in R, Snatchy's in the port side or whatnot, and VP's doing a really good job on after he takes a shot, they rotate him out immediately almost on a lot of situations.
I'm just sad they didn't play retake B with him like before. Just go aggro on A. There's 4 players there. It's a very fast adjustment here from FaZe, going Arch real fast. They want a wrap here, but the block from Mihu just gets the 1. The information's there though. He knows there's only 1 more player. And it looks like even PHR has come out of position to check Speedway just to make sure he's getting flanked. And Nico now reveals his position back towards Arch side, and the seesaw effect begins. Back to the A bomb site, FaZe will go now that Nico's picked up that kill. It's an effective 4 versus 1 on the actual bomb site. Snatchy's in a position where he can effectively leave. That's a good frag. Oh, he gets the second one offered up to him. He is insane. Re-peeking again. He has his teammate to wait for.
Smacks got lost at the same time, which leaves PHR alone in a 1 versus 2. Nico tries to catch him off guard. PHR was just about ready for it. Brokey moves into position with the AWP though, and will deliver that final kill. FaZe finally with a round on the boards. The money's not spectacular either for Virtus.pro, so this is turning into a really interesting situation just with that round 1 from FaZe.
Yeah, I just don't. This re-peek after the second kill, it just makes no sense at all. It's really unfortunate because if he just stays alive in apartments, they can't really go up there because they have to plant the bomb. They could try, but we could see also the flank was coming in, his teammate was coming in, and he even got the kill. So it's very unfortunate. It's kind of like the banana play from Snatchy. Snatchy, they would have crushed the round had he not pushed that round, but he got saved by his teammates because they clutched it anyway. But still, got to not be too over aggressive. Got big popper pump now.
Didn't quite make the connection he was looking for. That leaves 3 deagles for Virtus.pro. And their money's all of a sudden really terrible on most of the players. Definitely a chance for FaZe to turn this around now. Building some cash for the Mac-10. That's the point man. Point man, the hype man, the Flavor Flav.
So one thing I have to say, criticizing Snatchy's over-aggressions in some of these rounds is it's one of the reasons why James is such an incredible AWPer. Because he knows the spots when to go aggressive, and he knows the spots when he needs to just chill and play smart and slow play. Kind of like we saw Cold Zero showing us earlier as well. the spots where just playing it slow is going to kill the other team, as opposed to trying to repeat constantly and just outskill when your advantage gets significantly decreased once you're constantly repeating the same angle.
That was one of VP's kind of weak spots when we saw last season against, like, when they would lose matches, is because they're over peaking. They're trying to find those infos all the time, and the repeaks and repeaks and repeaks. And the times that we see VP win, they cut down a little bit on it. They don't have to repeak every single time.
Of this, again, I like how they're playing Banana. They're doing it in a kind of a slightly unorthodox way. It's been really, really fun to watch.
Uh-oh, Snatchy could be in trouble, unable to get around the corner in time. I don't think he was expecting to eat that particular flashbang, so he was ready for it. Mihu, it's good for 2 though. What a response! Veggie will fall. Nice off angle from coldzera. Gets himself a more preferred weapon anyway. Actually better armor penetration on the Gill over the M4A4, but either way he's been fragged. Snacks is alone now, 1 versus 2. Again, the top frag, the top mid peak from Nico. This time he'll deliver the kill, unlike last time he got taken out by PHR and broke out to trade at the end. And now we've had FaZe Clan string 3 rounds in a row together. Virtus.pro could get pipped at the post here. They're going to have to eco, and really they shouldn't be spending any money at all in this round. So Mihi's going to spend $700, P250, 2 flashbangs.
That was a good call by FaZe on the fast wrap, trying to put some movements on the arch side on the fast, because usually teams will stack more towards pit or B, and then CT spawns kind of like a rotate, so usually there's less people towards the arch side.
Snacks, Mihu, and Veggie will spend a lot of money in this round. I do wonder if they'll be lacking any grenades in the next one. Really curious to see what the buy will look like, especially considering what the score is. We are really late in the game here.
Yeah, I think they're not having a buy here is really kind of the ripple effect of some of the previous rounds where they won the rounds, but they were a bit over aggressive in spots. And you know, you lose more money than you should, and maybe that amounts to 3 guns, and then that amounts to at some point not having a buy when you could have had a buy. And it's interesting, you know, when you watch some teams are so good at maintaining their economy by playing efficiently in the rounds that they win, that it never seems like they're off of a buy. So
Snack spent $1,000 in the previous round, so he's got AWP and 0 grenades in this one. Veggie's a little short of grenades, but is it worth it to have no grenades in a 14-14 full buy, to have 3 smoke grenades, 3 flashbangs?
Case, yeah.
I'm with you.
Like,
James.
what's the point? What's the point of this? Snacks is alone towards B. He doesn't have a smoke or an incendiary, which he could have. He didn't pick up a deagle and a smoke in the previous round.
You can see that they're favoring this setup again. It's just like the AWPer, solo AWPer playing B retake, and then the other team stacks towards A. But if they do this, you have to be active with the 4 players around A. Make the info plays, and in fact, they will rotate PHR already.
The FaZe have to be wondering why there's no grenades on Banana. Why is there no challenge? What is the meaning of this? Well, there's the answer. The AWP is up. PHR now jiggling. He might get 2 out of this. Indeed, he will. A perfect lineup for him. Almost turned into a bait setup. Can't have been expecting a player on the side. But they have taken the sites anyway. At the cost of 2 players. Nico makes his way forwards. This might work out for Virtus.pro after all. 5 versus 2. The bomb's not even planted just yet. How has this happened?
That's a lot of damage. No one able to get that swing onto coffins in time. Oh dear, Olive Mice will get taken out by the use of incendiary. Colts here is trying to do what he can, but it's way too much. Finished off by Snacks, and indeed, no utility there. The site was offered up more or less for free, but that one Coffins player, PHR, undid everything.
It's like the smoke is coming too, and if I see the smoke, they peak 2 seconds before the smoke even pops. It's like what's the point of after that?
I know on some maps, like Mirage, you'll see the pro teams peak before the smokes have bloomed on A, for example. As Sean was talking about this, just because the idea is supposed to be that the CTs feel safe in that moment, they're pulling their nades out.
That's good. That's a pretty good point.
But on Inferno, I don't think it's really quite the same concepts.
Also doesn't make sense because they're kind of like running and looking in the wall as they were kind of like running on backwards into B.
Yeah,
And so it's just like 2 easy kills for PHR.
yeah. They had no one kind of able to like swing to attack that position.
I'm guessing they think if the AWP is not coffins and CT, then maybe there's a if there is a CT on the site, he'll be in a place which isn't coffins. But there we go. If they play it wrong, and there's a 2-man spray down for free, then things will fall to pieces after that. So we fought one thing, turned out to be another, and 14-14. It may prove very costly indeed. Virtus.pro are at such a self-imposed disadvantage in that round as well. But here we are. It's all change. More utility for all. 4 Kriegs and the AK-47 for FaZe. This time we'll see some more utility from Virtus.pro, although they are quiet towards B once again. Snax is lurking with the AWP. FaZe knocking on the apartments with the battering ram of the Krieg. But Virtus.pro not really revealing too much information just yet. They're holding on to most of their utility as well, it should be noted.
Astralis pop smoke today. Astralis used to do this a lot.
You with the preemptive push ahead of the grenades. That's such a smart play. The timing is, he just understands the game very well, doesn't he? Fergie will go down. He's done some damage, but I think Mihu's really done too much. He really cut off half of the push here. Coldzera fighting tooth and nail to get more damage in, but it's PHR to slow it down. And Mihu, again, with a rifle, he is extremely dangerous. He's proving that in this round. Another triple kill from him so far. There's no position for Rain. He's been tagged by the AWP now as well.
He goes for the shallow smoke. So he might have tried to cut off the arch position. And from above, death will come. Again, Mihu on the CT side, always worth watching demos of, always up to something funky. And you just spoke down about the T's running up and ruining the timing of the CTs with smoke grenades in their hands and so on. And Mihu did exactly that on top mid, which just broke the ramp for FaZe entirely. So it will be Virtus.pro taking the map pick of FaZe 16-14 here on Inferno.
Yeah, it's such a smart play. It's one of those things where it's kind of hard to explain that, but he just knows, he gets that feeling. It's like, I just know I have a timing right now. And that's from just getting that experience in the game, the hours in the game at the top level. And VP, they had a really strong start in the first half. You know, I think credit to FaZe for the recovery. I think both VP and FaZe had great ideas, but problems as well. But obviously we see VP just seemed a bit more comfortable overall.
Yeah, FaZe just made some mistakes there towards in the game where, you know, a missed smoke a couple times, missed pop flashes in the B take. If they actually hit those kind of shots or those nades, then it probably could have been a 16-14 in favor of FaZe to VP. So those utilities matter if there's the gaps or the missed flashes or you peak too early before the smokes pop.
Yeah, there was some really brutal rounds there at the end for FaZe Clan, and they will lose their pick of Inferno, but they are no strangers to Mirage, which is the pick of Virtus.pro, and is next after the break. We'll see you back here for map 2 in just a few minutes.